Connor Zilich has won 3 races in a row. Junior Motorsports just got their 100th win. Austin Hill's wanted for attempted homicide. And for the 23rd race of the Xfinity Series season, we're heading to Iowa, and there's paint schemes to review. Let's go. Starting us off, as always, is the man who still hasn't won a race, Sheldon Creed. I feel like every single season of Sheldon Creed's Xfinity Series career has followed the same path. Starts out running well, he's looking really good in the points, he's finally going to win a race, right? Then he hits that summer slump. Suddenly, he's only 67 points to the good, and it looks like he'll never win a race in his entire career. But maybe this is the year he finally turns it around. But I doubt it. 9. For the past 2 weeks, I would describe myself as a Carson Quapple hater. This is the weekend, though, he turns it around and gets back to my good side. Because we're headed to a short track this weekend, which means Carson is headed back to the top 5. You should absolutely take his better than 10.5 line over on Grid Rival, and if you sign up with my promo code Tyler, you'll get a 100% deposit match. Carson might see victory lane this weekend. 10. All this time, I've thought Jesse Love was the guy that gave off serial killer vibes over at RCR. Little did I know, Austin Hill is the second coming of Ted Bundy. Now I just wish he would tell us where he's hiding Amy Bradley. I really have to apologize to Jesse Love. Jesse, I'm sorry. You don't give off the vibe of a serial killer. You give off the vibe of the guy that's afraid of his teammate that is a serial killer. It all makes sense now, and I'm here for you. Except when Austin shows up, because I'm going to run away like a little bitch. 9. It seemed like a lot of you didn't understand the Daddy Longlegs nickname I gave to Parker Retzloff last weekend. Let me sum it up pretty quickly for you. He's skinny and has long legs. Hence, Daddy Longlegs. Pretty easy. 9. For my entire 25 years on planet Earth, I've always thought Nebraska was just a holding cell for the aliens. Now it turns out they have some sort of motoplex. Or is this just a front the aliens are putting on so we don't start to get suspicious? If I don't make it to next week's video, you'll know your answer. 9. I missed all of last weekend's Xfinity race because I was on a casino cruise, but I did get the cliff notes. Austin Hill's wanted for murder, and Kyle Larson ran out of talent and took out Justin Allgaier. Oh, and I guess Landon Honeyman wrecked Carson Quapple? I got like half a cliff note on that one. If you could bet on what fruit or vegetable was going to be on the Brandt car this weekend, corn would have been like minus 50,000. But hey, it's way better than whatever the fuck Ross Chastain's running this weekend. 10. Sammy Smith eats corn on the cob the long ways. 5. Ross Chastain's back in the 9 car again, but I think I caught Junior Motorsports in a lie. I think this is an old render. I need an explanation immediately, because why would they have a Maryland-Delaware sticker on a car running at Iowa? I think they reused an inaccurate render from Dover. Shame on you. 7. There's been some movement over at Colleague this week. More on that in about 10 seconds. I think Daniel Dye's okay because unlike the other dude, he doesn't completely suck. 9. This is Carson Hosvar, not Josh Williams. I've kept my mouth shut about Josh Williams for a while now because 1, he looks like if he put that hair up in a man bun, he'd pull out some karate on my ass. And secondly, I've seen his wife call people out online before, and I didn't want any part of that. Now that he's officially unemployed, I think it's safe for me to say, nice guy, but damn he sucked at Colleague. He made Colleague look more like a cow lick. In a year and a half at Colleague, his best finish was 6 at Charlotte this year, which I was there. I don't even remember that. But with Carson Hosvar behind the wheel this weekend, I guess we'll find out pretty quickly if this car is just a complete pile of shit or not. 10. Maybe we are just reusing paint schemes from Dover because Camp Barnes is in Delaware and their benefit race is today, which means sponsoring a race on August 2nd doesn't really make any sense. But it's SS Greenlight. Fuck it, we ball. 9. With Josh Williams getting shit canned in the middle of the season, there may be some cause for concern for the other Colleague drivers, but I would say Christian Ekis is about 99% safe. You do have to leave that 1% open just in case he gets one of those high noons disguised as a Celsius. It is possible that he wakes up this Saturday morning a full-time Xfinity Series driver and goes to bed with his jailmate Rick arrested for DUI. So Christian, if you take a sip out of a Celsius on Sunday and it tastes even shittier than it usually does, be careful. And whatever you do, don't drop the soap. You don't know what Rick's in there for. 0. Cory Day's back in the Xfinity car after back-to-back top 5 finishes in the Truck Series. What does that mean? Nothing. 9. I'm not one that gets into conspiracy theories and Mandela effects, although the Berenstein Bears did get changed. But since the morning of Saturday, July 12th, when William Sawalich hit me up asking for my address so he could send me merch, he's recorded 3 straight top 10 finishes. It may not sound like much, but prior to that, he had 2 straight finishes outside of the top 30. So William, you're welcome. And my future wife says thank you for the extremely comfortable shirts. 9. It's a good thing Eric Armadillo wasn't scheduled to run the Iowa race because after his hit at Indianapolis, he's probably pissing in the oven right now. Instead, we have Justin Bontenor, who in his starts this year has done absolutely nothing. But maybe he could pull a Ryan Preece and get his first career win at Iowa. But I doubt it. Also, I have no idea what I'm looking at, but I despise it. 2. And then you have Brandon Jones. 6. So by now, I'm sure we all know Austin Hill got suspended for this weekend's race at Iowa. I heard Richard Childress wanted to fill this seat with somebody who had the same temperament and morals as Austin Hill. So he called O.J. Simpson. He didn't answer. Rest in piss. So he got the next best thing, his grandson, and not the good one, Austin. Because, why would you put in the guy that has over 100 Xfinity Series wins that also drives for your race team and has not won a race in 2 years? Maybe a little track time could have helped old Kyle Busch out? Nah, fuck it. Let me put my grandson in the car so he could run 14th. And we wonder why Richard Childress Racing sucks. Get Jesse Love out of there, please. 8. My Xfinity reviews have been pretty unhinged lately. I need to bring it down a notch. Just like Harrison Burton is 1 notch below a playoff spot. 10. Last week, I went completely off the rails during Dean's review. So this week, I'm going to try to reel it in a little bit. Dean's coming off a 10th place finish at the Brickyard. And despite the fact I don't think Dean has ever ran a single lap at Iowa, I think he might have another good finish in him because this car finished 3rd with Corey Heim last year. But this review can't be all good. Remember when this guy completely sucked in trucks? Yeah, so do I. 10. Sam Mayer might have just finished 2nd at the Brickyard and sits 3rd in the Xfinity Series points, so you might think he's knocking on the door of his first win this year. But let me give you a little food for thought. Have you ever seen a car this ugly win a race? No. 0. Usually I wouldn't include a paint scheme like this because they didn't upload it to NASCAR.com. But the designers seem pretty excited about it. And for good reason. This car fucks. 10. No offense to Alpha Prime at all, but I think we can all agree Brennan Poole deserves a better ride. But damn, Alpha Prime never misses. 10. At this point, it feels like this same paint scheme is now ran for about 27 weeks in a row. I'm over it. 8. Big Machine got their paint scheme back on NASCAR.com this week. I guess that's cool. 8. The Paint Scheme Review Championship hangover continues. This is far too loud. I have my eyeballs half a centimeter away from the screen and I still can't see the number. 7. I guess we've made it back to the point in the season where Taylor Gray is knocking on the door of that first win again. But will it actually happen? Now that is the question. 54 is bad luck. 6. Leland Honeyman had the best qualifying effort of the year last weekend at the Brickyard and was having a pretty good run until whatever happened with Carson Quapple. So you know what that means. Let's eliminate all momentum and put Thomas Annunziata in the car this weekend. I love this team and I love both guys, but Jesus Christ. 7. I, of course, told the entire planet and all the aliens in Nebraska last week that Connor Zilich was going to win at the Brickyard. He did. Did I take my own advice and put any U.S. currency on it? Well, of course not. But he was in my grid rival lineup that I missed by 1. Thanks for nothing, Caden Honeycutt. I managed to piss off about 50,000 people on Twitter last weekend after the race when I said Connor Zilich still has not won on an oval. I assume that most people would understand my sarcasm, but you know what they say about assumptions. It makes an ass out of you and me. But I do feel like I made a pretty good point. He's got 2 wins on road courses, Pocono's a triangle, Dover was rain shortened, and Indianapolis is a rectangle. We're still looking for that first oval win. At least Connor thought it was funny. 10. It's really cool to see Josh Blickie sponsored by part of one of my parents' favorite childhood sayings. Life sucks. Suck it up. 8. Identity theft. 0. And the paint scheme of the week goes to Connor Zilich. I mean, hell, he's won everything else in the past 3 weeks. I figured we might as well give him a paint scheme of the week to go along with it. Here's this weekend's top 3. If we're being honest, there wasn't a lot to choose from. I'll update the point standings next week. See you guys all at Watkins Glen. Later.